Hello. I'm back. I played a lot of games as a kid, but there was always a common theme with the ones that really stuck with me, and that was lack of accessibility. You see, my dad, he had every new console, but me, I always got the hand-me-downs. And listen, when it's a GameCube, my favorite console of all time, I'm fine with that, but it meant there were a select few games that every time I got to play them, they were very special to me. Those special games were cemented in my head as a child. They never lost what was special to them, even to this day. One of those games being the next inductee into my Gaming Hall of Fame, Castle Crashers. I'll keep this short and sweet, mostly because there isn't much to say. Let's do the Beekeeper, bro. I've been waiting to play with this guy for a while. Pause, you know how I meant. You know what kind of play I meant. The non-sexual kind. We know, bro. The King's Crystal and his daughters get captured. You gotta go get them back. It's a beat 'em up, so a good story isn't really expected. And with a big focus on replayability in this game, I 100% think little to no story was the best option. Already you can see the skills are still there.
Are you sure?
Okay, now let's get into the gameplay. The general gameplay loop is progress through levels, fight enemies, fight a boss, level up. Pretty generic beat 'em up stuff, but combined with the massive amount of characters they have, many of which being unlocked by beating the game with another character, makes for an extremely replayable loop. Now with combat, you basically got three options: magic, melee, and ranged. Now max agility can be pretty crazy, but I don't know anyone who's going with that off rip. It's usually melee or magic. For me, usually melee, because I'm trying to learn how to juggle. I'd say I'm not bad at it, but magic will always be the coolest, and it's what differentiates most characters in terms of gameplay. And the best motivation too, women. You know, if they had Che Wan on one of those characters, I'd be through the whole game already.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Most of the characters have unique spells or spell combinations, but there is a lot of reused spells. I'm looking at you, Arrow Rain. We don't like you. Melee is generally the best once you learn how to juggle. I mean, there's some characters like Red Knight, my favorite, or the Industrialist, the Fencer, that have really good magic, but melee's a good all-round option. The combat is pretty simple, even by beat 'em up standards, but juggling with melee gives you something to get good at, and being good at it feels good. I know from experience, I am great. I'm one of the best. Also, unlocking a new character and seeing what magic they have is always fun. And unlocking the insane difficulty after beating the game really gives you a reason to get good. The gameplay's simple, but very fun and executed well, and I love it. As someone who has all the achievements, one of those is get all pets. And, you know what I'm saying. A little collection. I got a little collection right here. There are also animal orbs, which are little, usually orb-shaped guys. Who would have guessed? Will follow you around. Sometimes they'll give you a stat buff. Sometimes they'll attack enemies, or sometimes they'll have unique abilities like bringing you fruit to heal you. Now, these guys are sometimes out in the open. Most of the time they're hidden, and you have to figure out how to get to them or find them or use the wiki, you know. But this is one of my favorite features of the game. I don't know about you, but the second a game has some sort of mechanic where there's a functional collectible, something that actually does something, and you have a reason to go out and get them all, and they look good. I love myself some animals. I absolutely love it. Yep, we'd always sit under the owl, man. Get a nice shower going. A white shower, that sounds very dirty. I mean, it's not like it's not dirty, just dirty in a different way, you know? We'd have to get out of there before he fell on us. That's brain damage. I think you got that already, my brother. The level structure is mostly the same for each one. You know, you go through a line, side-scrolling, you fight enemies along the way, and you eventually get to a boss. But they'll throw different scenarios in there, like swimming and fighting a catfish, or volleyball. You'll travel across the world, so you'll see forests, castles. Look at her rooting for me. How could I not win this battle? No, 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 don't! Deserts. Dude, he hit me. Ref. Most of the areas on paper aren't too unique, But paired with the Behemoth, the developer's art style and their take on them, they each feel unique and are very fun. Now, when it comes to the enemies, I love every one of their designs. They each have their own feel and charm, usually matched to the areas they'll be in. There are common enemy types like barbarians and thieves, but they don't shy away from getting weird and fantastical with things. Shout out the alien, shout out the troll. As a side note, I love when games let you unlock enemies to play as. A lot of people might say it's lazy just reusing the enemies they already created, but for me, I love it. Now, the bosses also each feel very unique, from their look to their gameplay. They each have their own gimmick, their own fighting style. None of them feel the same truly. Now, this helps a ton with replayability, as we've talked about, and it also makes them very memorable. I remember each one in my head. I could recite them right now. I'm just not going.
Please, just hear me out, please.
Now, replayability is something I've mentioned a lot throughout this video, and that's because it's one of the game's biggest strengths. There are 31 characters in the game, 25 unlockable through gameplay, many of which being unlocked by playing the game with another character and beating it. I've found this to be one of the best systems for me to encourage me to keep replaying the game, and I've played this game more than any other game ever in terms of runs. Excluding some roguelikes, maybe, probably. Yeah, excluding roguelikes. I've played this game across 4 platforms, starting on the Xbox 360, then the PS3, then the Xbox One, and now my PC. And even unlocking characters I've already unlocked on those previous platforms is fun to me. Also, there's a DLC coming this summer with the Painter boss as a character and custom characters that you can create or download, which is just adding more to the replayability. Keep laughing, buddy. Keep laughing. You're cooked, moron. No, laugh. Come on. No, laugh. Oh, what happened? I thought that shit was funny, buddy. Now, the Behemoth's humor is definitely childish and goofy, and it may be because of my memories with the game that I enjoy it so much, but I can't help but smile when I'm playing this game. I think it's because it just feels natural to their style. It feels like they're just having fun with it, and it never feels forced, which is very good. For me, it only adds to the charm, along with the next portion, which is the art design and soundtrack. I love the Newgrounds style cartoon art the Behemoth uses in their games. They have their own style to it, which really lets them like pour their hearts into the game, and it really lets you feel that. At least me. The soundtrack for this game matches perfectly. You'd be hard pressed to find a soundtrack that matches a game better than this. Maybe you wouldn't. Maybe I'm just saying that, but it really does match very well. Each track in this game is extremely memorable for me. It may not be Beethoven. Did I just say Beethoven? Beethoven? Whatever the hell. B-A-E? Man, stop. Either way, I never get tired of it. And again, I know a lot of the praise that I'm giving this game is because I have nostalgia for the game and blah, blah, blah. But I wouldn't have such strong nostalgia for this game if it wasn't this good. And it is. Now, to wrap up, I just want to touch on a few memories I have with this game. You know, I remember playing this with my sisters every once in a while on my dad's Xbox 360. Literally every time, it felt like a special event. You know, whenever one of us would get sick, the others would convince that person to ask my dad if we could play Castle Crashers, because how could he say no to his sick child? And usually it would work. I remember sometimes if we'd ask, he'd tell us the controllers were out of charge, which just meant the rechargeable batteries he uses in the controllers were out of charge, and he could have put some regular AA in. But I only realized that later in life. You know, I have a ton of memories with this game, but I think it's pretty obvious at this point that it's just carved out a special place in my head, and it's one I'll love forever. All right, I hope this video came together well. Subscribe! Apparently, you're supposed to ask people to subscribe. I don't like doing that. Should I do it? I don't know. If the videos are good enough, you'll subscribe anyways. I don't need to ask. Should I? I don't know. What am I talking about? Listen, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm trying to keep improving. I hope this turns out well because I'm recording this before I edit it, obviously, so we'll see. But I appreciate everyone for their support. Another Hall of Fame video. Very awesome. I already know what the next game's gonna be, okay? I hope to review Cleric's Obscure Expedition 33 once that comes out. And I'm starting to feel more natural on camera. I'm only gonna get more bombastic. Can we put a pin in that word and keep using it? Bombastic, what a great word. I'm gonna be more and more bombastic as time goes on. If you don't mess with that, if that's not the impression you got when you first subscribed, I'm sorry, but I'm a more toned down version of myself on camera. So that's like the opposite of most YouTubers. So I'm just trying to get comfortable with it. And the more comfortable I get, the more bombastic I'm gonna get. So expect that. All right. I'm not good with outros, so goodbye.